Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. My name is Denise Hutchins and I'm broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. Our charity of the month is Tower Hill Stables Animal Sanctuary, and you can help me help them by donating to our fundraiser here on Twitch, visiting their website, which I've posted in the chat, or simply by watching my streams, this one in particular because it's the last one of the month, and bringing your friends because I'll be making my own donation at the end of the month based on my unique viewers count. If you enjoyed today's stream, please support my creative work by becoming a Twitch subscriber to remove ads and get cute emotes, joining my Patreon for illustrated postcards and prints in the mail, or sending me some creative fuel through Buy Me a Coffee. Links to all these can be found in my Twitch About section. Today is Friday, which means it's time for Chibi Friday, and we're back to work on Chibi soon. This is the first entry in a new series of Chibis I'm doing. I'm calling it Hallowed Animals, and I left off, well, I did a little bit of practice work earlier this week when I needed something else to do while I was waiting for feedback on my other piece. But last time I worked on the main part of this project. I left off with the markers completed, but I still have a lot to do before I can move on to digitizing this and then the subsequent steps. So first I am going to use, where's the part that says what this is? Prismacolor, my favorite colored pencils, to add some details, some more color, some texture. I've got to rearrange my workspace a little bit to make this happen. Okay, and then I don't need, I'm keeping everything on this clipboard and then hanging it on my corkboard. This is the under sketch, and then this was the tape where this had been taped on. So I can go over there for now, and then here's the main drawing. Although it's just so large, but there's not really room for this. What am I gonna do if I do it this way? Haha! Figured it out. Creativity at work. Trying to get everything nice and neat, trying to make sure you can actually see the drawing as I work on it, because this is as far over as these can go, so this has to be here on this kind of off center. Oh, and I need to get my reference image up. Bringing this over to my secondary monitor. I've got to rearrange stuff, so I'll drag the bottom of OBS up so I can still see what's going out on OBS, and make sure my mic is working so I can see that little line going. So be sure mic's working. But now I've got the reference photo of Soon up, so I can see where the Chibi drawing could use some additional touches using colored pencil. Though he's really good already, if I do say so myself. And I do, because I work hard, so I deserve the praise. If I don't praise myself, who will? Okay, I think for the most part, I'm going to move my lamp. I just hit my head on my lamp. For the most part, it feels like we just want some more texture. I'm really happy with the shading. So I'm going to add some finer texture than what we can get with marker. I'm going to add that with colored pencil here. This will also bring all the colors together too. Uncreative Emma. Hello. Thank you for joining me. So great to see you. How are you? All right, right. You can see my hands now. I'm doing a physical media piece. Oh, thank you for joining me. So good to see you in chat. Hope you've had a great week. Looking forward to a good weekend. Any fun plans? As always, no need to share if you don't feel like it. Don't want to be intrusive, just friendly. Resting. Or resting ... I don't know if that's sort of like you wish you were resting. Like that sure would be nice. Oh, wow. Good job. I've got 11,000, almost 12,000. 20K. Dang, dude. Woo. Was that on purpose or just because you were so busy doing something? Yeah, usually when I get 20K steps or more, it's because I did some sort of running event, you know, like a half marathon or something. Or I'm on vacation and just sightseeing and walking around everywhere. I have to put in effort to get... My goal is to get 10,000 steps before lunch every day. So I have to put in effort to make that happen. It does not happen by accident. Oh, that's good. If you're in the mood for it, then that's excellent. Yeah, walking gives you a nice chance to kind of breathe. Well, I guess it depends on where you are. If you're not in a great place for walking, then it won't be. But it can be a relief to slow down a little bit. Okay, I think that's good for this color, but I want to add a little bit more of a creamy kind of color too. What wasn't needed, but it happened. Well, maybe it means that you're going to get a really good night's sleep tonight. Because if it's not the usual, your body's going to be like, whoo. Not sure what color would be good. What exactly I'm looking for. Don't know. Oh, maybe this one. It might be too light, but I could try it. Oh, your last day of military. Oh, congratulations! Great work! How do you feel about that? The exclamation point seems like it's a good thing. No more lieutenant! Yeah, I'm thinking that's a good thing. Hey, you're welcome. Okay, I'm gonna get these roller. Not eraser. I was gonna say eraser shavings, not what they are. Pencil sharpener shavings. Put those in the trash. Ah, something stuck to my finger. No. Ah, it's still sticking. Okay, I finally got it off. Okay. Let's see how this works. Might be too light to make a difference, but it might be exactly what I wanted. So this part of the process is relatively subtle. It's the kind of thing where you wouldn't notice it on first glance, but maybe if you take your time. You might notice it. Oh, that's good. I'd assume that means it wasn't actually too bad of an experience. Even if it's something you didn't want to do, if it wasn't a bad experience, then kind of all's well that ends well. Oh, this is great for adding little small marks on top of the dark part here. Yeah, nice. Ah, bittersweet ending. That's good. That's good. I'm glad. Oh, you used up all your lifetime supply of luck. I don't think you did, but I get what you're saying. That's good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that it ended up being a good experience. That's so great. When stuff seems so scary or forbidding, or you just don't want to do it, but then it ends up great. It's almost better than expecting it to be great and then it being great, you know? Now I feel like I want something in the middle, but I can't really find what I'm thinking of. Like really, I almost feel like maybe a yellow would do it. Like this kind of buttercup yellow. This is sand. Oh, thank you. Here's a close-up of how he's changed since the start of the stream. You can see some of the colored pencil. That light color is not really showing up very much. I guess you can see in the ear, you can see those thin strokes. Thank you very much. I feel like I am putting extra effort into this one because I really want it to be good. Because this isn't just a chibi. This is the start of a brand new art series. It's gonna be fine art by the time I'm done with it. Each piece is unique. So I'm really excited because I've had this idea for a long time. Like I'd say a couple years I've been thinking of doing this. So it's really exciting to finally be working on it, not just thinking about it. Yay! That's what I go for. Detailed. That was one of the things earlier in my art making career. I would identify things that I felt I could improve on. And one of them was making things more detailed. So I worked really hard for a long time to develop the patience to do details, because I'd be so excited to get it done that I would not actually see it through, and then I'd be kind of disappointed because I'd be done with it, but then I wouldn't be satisfied with the result. Yeah, this yellow is actually adding that little bit of extra detail that I wanted, so this is great. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of white because other parts of him it looks a little bit more cream, but on his face right here it's very white. the reference image I'm using. So this is my boy Soon. Oh, it looks like my camera froze. Hold on. I don't know why it does that sometimes. But I've figured out how to get it to wake up again. Let's see. You go into the camera, then you deactivate it, and then you activate it, and you might have to do it twice. See if it comes back. Okay, we'll do it again. Alright, it came back. So weird. So you always have to do that twice, too. Mystery. At least I know how to fix it, though. And I don't have to end the stream and then restart it or something like that. Alright, got this nice, sharp, white-colored pencil. And I want it super sharp so that I can get the really thin lines. Yeah, it's gotta be late for you. Sweet dreams. I don't know if that's actually saying you're leaving, but if you're gonna fall asleep, either way. Oh, you're welcome. You too. Have a great day and have a great weekend. Good night. Had a little extra sip of my tea. It's yummy peppermint tea. It's quite tasty. Right here. It's whiter too. I can't decide still whether I want to add the white using digital or using physical media. But I guess I'll do physical media because the steps for the rest of this are going to be finish this, digitize it, clean it up, then print it, then add, here I've got the examples right here, then add a golden halo to the print using some sort of technique. I actually have an idea that I want to try. Combining this and this, not this color and this technique and this technique, but then this will go behind. It will be bigger, more like this size. So he'll have a golden halo behind with this metallic paint, and that will be the final piece. Not my usual is the final piece is digital. But in this case, I'm taking it back into the physical world after putting it into the digital world. So, maybe I would like it best if it's complete physically first. Then all I'm doing is literally cleanup. I'm not adding anything digitally. And then that way, when I print it, it will all look like it goes together, because it will all, at least originally, have been physical media. At least that's what I'm thinking right now. So, where's my swipey brush? I was definitely seeing some little colored pencil shavings come off as I was coloring. So I'm swiping those into my trash can right now. I think I'm done with adding texture and color to his fur. I want to use ink to do extra highlights on his eye and nose. So yes, you know what, maybe right here we could do a little bit of dark brown. I guess it add a little bit more texture on the edges here. That's probably good. Okay. My next step is my favorite. Add the purple wherever there's shadows. It brings a level of depth to every piece, unlike anything else. And it's surprisingly subtle too. I'm putting purple right on here, but it just blends right in. I'm adjusting how hard I'm pressing based on how dark the area is. Something else I like to do is add a little bit of blue to the eye to kind of hint that the sky is reflecting. I don't know if that blue is actually making a difference, so let's add a little bit more pigmented one. Zoom in on my reference image. There. Yeah, it just seems so much more alive. Here's a close-up. Adding the purple into the shadows, adding the blue into the eye. So I think that's good for colored pencils. Oh, I dropped my sharpener. Startled Aoife. I'm lucky it didn't open, so it didn't make a mess all over the floor. Good job, sharpener. Well, I wanted to empty it into the trash anyway. So I'll take this opportunity. Sorry, Aoife, I didn't mean to startle you. her face look like, huh? What the heck? I'm gonna put these away, and I do think I'm gonna use the white ink. I want to use my ink pot. So I gotta get some stuff out. I'm not just gonna use like gel pens. Sometimes if I want to get it done a little faster, I'll use gel pens. But this one, I really want to take my time. So let's see, about that I need brush. Little one. And since I'll probably work, well, let's say since there's a chance that I will work on my gold paint practice sheet later during the stream, I'm going to go ahead and get a whole bowl of water. So I'm going to go fill this bowl up with water. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Here's our nice fresh water. Putting that off to the side. So now I have everything I need. Got my palette to thin anything out if I want to do it that way. This is for mixing. I'm going to open this over the trash because it tends to get ink dried under the cap. So if I open it over the trash, that dry ink will fall right in there instead of all over my desk. Yep, there goes some little flakes. I mean, there's no guarantee. More will probably come off, but I don't know if you can tell, but it's definitely started separating since the last time I used it. That's why I have this stick that I always keep with it. So let's see if I can get this so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just mixing. Mixing the ink back in with the water. So the pigment is getting mixed back into the medium. I'll just keep churning until Chibi just did a big snort. Keep churning it until it's even. Make sure to scrape the bottom. It's just like reincorporating a jar of natural peanut butter, nut butter, tahini. It's seeming really good. Okay, so now I'm going to try to wipe the stick. And actually, I guess I'll just use the stick to get my ink because there's so much still stuck on it. Okay. Line everything up. So mostly where I want highlight is just his eye and his nose. Everything else is fur, so it's not this super bright white. But I might add just a few touches for whiskers too. So it's still mostly just going to be on his head. I'm not going to put any of this on his body. Yeah, and I can definitely put some... Ah, no, I clicked the thing that went in the next picture instead of... What I wanted to do was move the photo. Okay, so I'm going to start in his ear. I'm going to add some... Ah, is it thin enough? I gotta get it really, really thin. Okay. Still doesn't seem quite thin enough. There. Trying to make sure to work with the black lines that I already have instead of just obliterating them mindlessly. Now I'm ready to add some big white highlights to his eye. Wow, that looks awesome. It looks like the galaxy is in it. You know, this space is reflected in his eyes. Let's see if it'll focus for you. I feel like it's... Oh, there we go. It's thanks to the little bit of blue I added. I did not know that would happen. I'm very happy with that result. I'm going to thin out the ink again to do some more hairs on his face. Yeah, I think that's good. I want to let that dry a little bit. So I'll take a moment to clean off my brush and close up the ink, put it away. Alright, that looks good. I'm going to turn it this way so that it's got a little bit of an angle for the water to go down instead of up as it dries. I'm going to cap the ink over the trash for the same reason that I opened it over the trash, because doing so often knocks off those little pieces of dry ink. Okay. I wonder if it's dry or if I should go rinse off this stick in the sink. I guess maybe by the time I have my scanner ready and everything, it'll be dry. So we'll go over here and prepare that. I'm brushing off the scanner glass, but I was hitting this like little stick at the back. Okay, that's brushed off. Next, I'm going to move my mouse and keyboard over to my digital workspace. Digital workstation. That sounds better. Digital workspace sounds more like Tron. You're actually going into the digital world. Okay, and I'm gonna move my mic over. Move my monitor. I have this secondary monitor on an arm so that I can swing it 90 degrees from one workstation to the other. Okay, now I can get my scanner software going. Okay. Hopefully this drawing it makes me wonder if I should sign it, because I always sign my Chibis, but this one is different, you know? Oh, I know, I should sign it. I think I'll sign it at the end on each individual print. Yes, that's what I'll do. So hopefully this ink is dry. I'm going to swipe it lightly, swipe the drawing lightly to get any dust or hairs off. Now, put it in the scanner. Let me switch over to my desktop capture so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to do preview, which means preview. And the marquee is the perfect size because the last thing I scanned were the black ink lines before I colored. So scan it. I'll show you the photo I've been working from. Chibi one, real one, or at least a photograph of him at the time. 2018, this one was. Oh, I can get Photoshop going while I'm waiting too. Wow, Photoshop gets done exactly as I... Oh wait, I don't want to open it like that. I'm going to open Photoshop. Exactly as the scan gets done. That's cool. Alright, we're done with the scanning software. I'm going to take the drawing out of the scanner and turn the scanner off. First things first, you always want to save. Save as. I saved it here, but I wonder if I should save it under my projects folder. Okay, well, I'm going to put it in that. I'm going to move that one into the projects folder. And then make a new project folder. This is 0822. Excelente. So make a new layer and then turn this one off. How do I want to do this? First we will do, there are several things I want to do. This is just cleanup and final tweaking. So there's not too much to do, but it's important to me what order I do it in because it will, certain things will be effective. Certain things will work out better if I do them in a certain order. So first I'm going to adjust the levels because I purposefully scan with a little less contrast than the default. Because I found that the default is too contrasty and then I really lose a lot of details. Okay, call that good. Now I'm going to pull my tablet down and use my stylus and the I'm not sure which tool I want to use. I might just use the classic clone stamp so that I'm not fighting with the little so-called smart tools. Sometimes they are really smart, and other times I'm like, no, that is not what I'm trying to do at all. Why are you making this decision? Alright, stuff like that doesn't matter. I need to stay focused here. What I want to do is little areas like this, where the marker went outside the ink line. I want to replace that. This is too small. So I'm going to choose a spot and then color it in with that. So I'm just taking from an area outside where that mark is and then bringing that in to have it be a little bit more clean. Did not choose where I was trying to go. It to be right there. Thank you. Actually, I want to bring that one out more so it'll look like a, oops, not the black part, just this part. I guess I can't. Well, I'll just leave it as is though. Am I a little bit too far? Hey, that's good. Now, I'm going to cut this out. So I think I can use the smart tools. So I'm going to move my tablet back up first. This will just be easier to do with the mouse. Oh, it's exactly break time actually. So let's take a break instead and we'll pick back up. Nice 5-minute break. I encourage everyone to take this opportunity to get stretched and refreshed. I'm going to put my be right back sign on and I will be back in about 5 minutes. Hello everyone, I'm back. I hope you had a great break. I remembered that I still had half of my smoothie left from this morning, so I was feeling a little hungry and I was like, oh, why am I so hungry? Because I didn't finish my smoothie in the morning, so I still have a bunch of calories left to enjoy. It's chocolate mango. Yummy. Okay, so there's one thing I want to clean up. And it's this little line of purple here. I made it a little too straight. And it looks like a mistake. It's actually not a mistake. But I'm going to do a little bit of clone stamp to break it up a little bit. I'll just do it with the mouse. So that it's not quite so perfect straight line. I think that's better. Let's look at it from farther away. And maybe I'll even remove more of it from out here entirely. That's much better. Anything else like that catching my eye? I guess this little black speck here on his leg. Okay, so now I want to cut it out. We'll try this one, this tool. If it doesn't do a good job, there's another tool. And worst case scenario, I can always just do it by hand using my stylus. But these tools have actually been fairly useful since I got them with Photoshop Creative Cloud. So we're gonna try these first. Basically, with this one, you color in everything you want it to select, and then it like smartly makes the selection more precise. If I'm on the tool I think I am. I don't even know what it's called. I just know that there's a thing that does a certain thing. Let's see. That's not doing anything. What is this? Where's the tool I want? Selection brush tool. Maybe it's under here. I had it confused. It's this one. Look, the icon is almost the same. A little dotted bubble with a brush. This is what I wanted. Ugh. Actually, the one I like the best is this one. You just do a big square and it tries to figure it out. There, not bad. Okay, taking a drink of my smoothie. Rich and delicious. Man, at this rate, I might end this stream early too. Because what I want to do with the gold paint once I'm done with this soon is gonna need time to dry, and then I'm gonna try flattening it under a book. So I'll explain more about that when I get to it, but right now I'm thinking I'm not gonna have enough work to do. Plus, this is my last work day before going on vacation, so it's pretty tempting to just end early. Especially because it looks like I'm the only one here right now, so it doesn't feel very negative to take off early. Make sure that's selected. It couldn't tell the difference, or it didn't think that these were different enough. I think that's happening here too. It's not catching that cream color. Oh, and look right here. So we're gonna manually edit this selection so that we don't lose anything. So I'll start down here at the tip of his tail, and then we'll go all the way back up to the tips of his ears and his nose. Need me more smoothie. For dinner, we're going to the seasonal local vegan market, so I'm pretty excited for dinner, but that's a little while away, so I want to have the rest of my smoothie right now. So I'm feeling pretty hungry. I've been feeling pretty hungry the last couple days. I have upped my strength training load, and at the same time, not by much, but I reduced my daily calorie limit. So I'm trying to lose fat and gain muscle. So I think that's why I'm hungry. I think it's a combination of those things. The slightly lower calorie intake. I mean, it's not that low, 1,700 calories still, with my maintenance calories being about 2,000. And then doing a lot more strength work this week. And last week too. The workout I did last week, I had to not do the other one that I planned because I was still so sore. This week I was able to do both, actually one after the other, one day and one the next day, because one was lower body and the other one was upper body, so it was divided up. The one I did last week was full body, so I was just like too sore. Some of these I can see why Photoshop didn't catch it, because I can barely tell that it's cream and not the paper white. I think that's good. And it shouldn't have selected any random... I'm looking around for any stray marquees just floating around. But this tool is usually pretty good at not doing that. Yeah, see, like, it did not select that, so I appreciate that it was smart enough to do that. Okay, so this is not the end. Now we're going to increase the size of the selection so that we don't lose any of that outside edge. So we're going to go expand. Normally I do 10, but since I intend to print this, that means, and we could see it when we were zoomed in super close, the paper is not plain white. This is not digital, so the paper itself already has a variety of whites and grays when you go super close, and that actually gets replicated when you print. So you'll see that the paper you print on might look different than the little edge that I'm about to create. So I'm thinking that this time maybe I'm actually going to do, because digital is not the final form for this. I'm not going to be posting this version. So I think I'm going to do smaller, a lot smaller, half what I normally do. Just a really super thin edge. Maybe even 5's a little too much. But you can see that the pixels are carrying on. So we look at it really, really, really close. So here, they're continuing out. You can see slightly. Yeah, 5 actually. I mean, maybe 4. But even here, it is going to cut some off, which is fine. We're not looking for perfection, just trying to choose the best option. So I don't want it to be distracting if this is printed. I don't want it to look... What I've found is that if I print it and the edge is not as bright as the paper I print it on, it looks kind of dirty. It looks like there's a dirty edge. You know, dirty white compared to what appears to be the super bright white of whatever paper it's printed on. So I'm trying to avoid that while still retaining that physical media look. If we have too sharp of a cutoff here, we'll lose some of that. But it does seem like I'm going to go back and I'm going to try 4. I kind of like that too, because 4 is my favorite single digit number. Which I feel like I pointed out yesterday, or on a recent stream at least. Maybe 4 will be good, because we are losing a little bit here, but most of this color, these pixels are present. Yeah, and this seems so thin that I think this is the good distance. So here's another instance where it's probably... Whoa, I didn't want to go in that close though, jeez. Where's my move? Where's my movie hand? There we go. Yeah. So here's another instance where we will be losing some of this color, but the bulk of it is retained. Okay. Ah, not that small. Look, it's so small you can see that the marquee is moving. that's way too small. Okay. Let's save this also. Haven't saved in a while. So now we're going to Control X to cut. Control V to paste. And now he should be centered, because if you Control V, it'll paste centered. So I can delete this background copy. Although I wonder if I want to. Actually, let's do this a different way. Just to be sure I'm saving everything, we're going to just Control C to copy, Control V to paste. And then we'll just call this one. Oh, Chappy, don't. Oh. Don't bark, Chappy. It disturbs people who are listening to the stream. Well, sorry for anyone watching the recording if that was startling, but at least it seems like I'm the only person here live. So we'll call this background edited. So we've got background edited, and then we'll call this final. And save. Not saved in a while. I'm not sure if it's worth it to print this now or to wait. I haven't even decided what size I want to print it. I don't really want to print it bigger than the original. What size is the original? Oh, that's at 300 pixels. I'll just... Where's my original drawing? I'll just measure it with a ruler right now. It is about, give or take, 1/4 of an inch. But it's about 5 inches wide. And about the same tall. Of course, where I want to put the halo and how big I want to make it, it's going to make a difference too. Where's that circle template I was using? I put it away today because I thought I was done with it, but I want to see if it will work for this. Might need to get a bigger one though. Because Suen's head is so big in this drawing. Yeah, I guess it depends how big I want to make it. Bigger than his head, or about the same size. I feel like I would like it to be centered, but also extend past all areas of his head. So that would mean this is not a big enough template. I wonder if I can... I'm gonna look on Michael's real quick. So that's where I got this first template. Circle template. Oh, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Sweet. Here, I'll bring it over here so y'all can see too. This is exactly what I have. I mean, it's not exactly this one. I have a bigger one than this. What are the different pictures? Okay. I actually have this one though. But I want an even bigger one than what I have. So this Artist's Loft brand. Oh, this is what I have. This one. But it's blue like the one that we looked at before. But this is literally the exact same. It's just that mine says Artist Loft right here where my cursor is. So there must be some generic manufacturer because the placement of all these markings and everything, this is exactly the same. These little circles right here so that you can pin it down or whatever. That's exactly the same. But this is the biggest one in this pack. And I don't need another one of the one that I already have. I want a big one. Oh, here it is. This is the one I have. See, it says Artist Loft right there. Where is this bigger one though? Circle cutting set. It's not exactly what I want. Although I do have a half circle one of these. But I don't want a half circle. I want a full circle. Angle and circle maker. Integrated circle templates. Interesting. This is one of those spirograph things. Why don't they have a bigger one? They have the exact thing that I already own, but not bigger. This is kind of like what I have, but I want it to be full round 3-pack. I don't need that. I want a 1-pack of really big circles. Maybe I'll put large. Maybe I gotta get one of those spirograph things. Here's just a big wooden circle. 18 inches is too big. That is too big. Oh wow, so apparently the one I have is already called Jumbo. What's bigger than Jumbo? Ginormous? Ginormous, what if I search that? Ginormous circle template. Why don't they have a bigger one? So yeah, it says 2.5 inches is the biggest. Oh, then that's not even as big as this one. The one I have, the biggest is 3.5. Dang it. I didn't think it would be this hard. Now we're getting more like stencils, and that's not what I'm looking for. That's a bit disappointing. Alright, well, hold on. I'm gonna look on Amazon. We're looking for Large circle template art. Maybe I should say artist. Artist. We can shop together. Again with the 2.25 inches. And here's that same thing that was being sold on Michaels, where the biggest one they have is the one I already have. But here's this helix angle and circle maker, so maybe this is what I need to get. It says I could get it by tomorrow. Huh, plastic free packaging. That's cool. Measure angles. So I don't think measuring angles is actually what I want though. It's not actually like a spirograph. Well, it sort of is, but it looks like it only goes out to 2 inches anyway. Yep. So this is not what I want. It doesn't even go as big as what I already have. Oh, here's that artist. There's the same one, Artist Off. I thought that was Michael's exclusive, but I guess not. Oh! Somebody finally have what I want. Look at this. Yay! Although these are really... Wait, what's the point of that? What? Is it the placement of them next to each other? Oh, yeah. Well, I don't really care about that. Oh, it's not actually... It only goes up to 3.71, so it's only a slightly bigger. That might be big enough, but maybe this is more like what I want. Oh, yeah, look at that! This is what I want. Why? Why did that go away? I want to scroll over. It's going to go away when I let go, I know it. Oh, it didn't do it. Yay. So right now, the biggest I have is 3.5. Ah, so... Oh, no. This is the inside part. So 3.5. So about... This one will already be bigger. And then we've got some huge... Look at the other pictures. I'm not sure if they're a bit flimsy, but as long as I can use it to draw a circle. Seems alright. Yeah, and look, it'll get here tomorrow. $6. Okay, I'm not gonna... Wait, I want to put this tab back on here. I'm not gonna actually make the purchase on stream, but I'll add it to cart. Guess while I'm at it, yesterday I ran out of envelopes for Patreon postcards. Let's see if I've purchased them here before. Or if I've only gotten them at Michael's. Mini envelopes. Yeah, looks like I've been getting this. But I guess I can just search for Amazon for I think it's ivory color. A7. I don't know what size I usually get. What's A7? This one seems like what I want. .3 by 5.3. I'm sending 4 by 6 postcards. So that should be plenty of room. In fact, I wonder if I could go smaller to an A. Do they have an A8? What's an A8 size? Do they have such a thing? Oh, it goes to A9. Apparently. It's A9. I don't like this straight across one though. I like the pointy one. I'm such a professional. The straight across envelope. The pointy envelope. Looks like A7 is the thing though. I mean A4, but that's way too big. Wait, what? This is 4 by 3 by 6. What? This is smaller. I thought that it would be bigger. This is actually perfect. 4 by 3 by 6 by 3, then I would be more economical and not using an envelope that's too big, because I'm pretty sure this is more the size I've been using. But I thought the paper sizes work so that the more you fold it, the smaller it gets, and that's why A7 should be smaller than A4, but maybe I'm not understanding. Let's find out. I'm going on Wikipedia. Oh, nope, it's true. It's, oh, wait, no, I'm right. Look, A4 is bigger than A7, so how is that working? Yeah, so the less folds. So what happens? I'll show you. So I was right. A0 is the full sheet of paper. Then you fold it in half once, and then you have A1. So one fold creates an A1 size. So you'd have 2 sheets of A1. Then you fold it in half again the other way. That's how you get A2. So on and so forth. So how are they saying that these A7 envelopes are bigger than A4 envelopes? Somebody has got a typo in their listing. So this says A4, and then it says 4.3 by 6.3 inches. Then this one says A7, and it's larger somehow, 5.25 by 7.48. That doesn't make sense, because here it shows A7 is way smaller than A4. I'm confused. I'm so confused. Oh look, thank you cards and any 4 by 6 inch inner sheets. I just want to make sure that I'm getting the right size. This looks like exactly what I want, and it could be even better than what I had been getting. Because perhaps it will be cheaper. Let me see. How much have I been spending? The last time I bought envelopes, it ended up costing about 10 cents per envelope. With this, they're asking 15 bucks, so it would be 15 divided by how many envelopes? It says 50. So 15 divided by 50, that's 30 cents an envelope. So that's actually more expensive. That's just this one listing, though. Previously viewed. Go to Michael's. Maybe Michael's is just cheaper. Oh, here's a slightly... Oh, but I don't need the card. This is basically what I've been getting. These value pack envelopes. Oh yeah, look. 50 count. Oh, but it's not big enough. These ones aren't big enough. 4.6 by 5.75. I need it to be... It would be better if it was 4.6 by 6.6. So these must be the ones I've been getting. And this is definitely cheaper because look, here's 50 count again and it's $5 or $6 less, about $5 less. And even the regular price is cheaper. So even though they're bigger than what I need, I wish they didn't come with cards. Cards and cards. How do I tell it I just want envelope? 50 pack online. Oh, it's very fancy with all this gold stuff. Cards and envelopes. Whoa. 12 packs. I would be set for years. Unless I suddenly had an avalanche of people joining my Patreon. Woo! But I do go through them regularly. Does it save me money to buy such a huge amount? 5.25. Oh, but this is cards. I don't need the cards. I just want the envelope. So this looks just like what I've been getting. $50, so $600 total. Let's see what that would be. Where'd my calculator go? So it's $91.75. It says it'll be free shipping. $91.75 divided into 600 means 15 cents each. That's not cheaper than the last price I paid, but maybe prices have gone up. Or maybe it's not actually saving any money. Here, I believe, is the individual one. So this is $9.74 divided into 50. No, it is cheaper to spend $100 now. Wow, I guess prices have just gone up because they seem pretty pricey here on Amazon too. I was just hoping to find some on Amazon so I could make the purchase at the same time. But it seems like for what I'm looking for, it'll actually be cheaper. Whether I get the small one or the 50 count or the 600 count, it seems like it would be cheaper to get it through Michael's. Alright, I'm going to put these over here. so that I can do these later. And I put my calculator back where I like it to be so that when I open it again, it will show up there. And then close it. Alright, so I have found a circle template set so that once I'm ready, I can actually make a halo of the size I want. And since this pack comes with 8 different circles, I can make all kinds of different sizes, not just for this one, but for other entries in this series. And then, for the envelopes, before I forget what I was doing, I'm going to go into this listing. So it does save money, so I think I'm going to get the big pack. 600. What did I use? I think I used 7. So this will last me years. Okay, so that's good for that. Let's move back over to the physical workstation. Since all I have left that I wanted to do today was paint a couple more golden circles so that they can dry, and then I can smush them while I'm away on vacation, and then come back and try some impasto and on top of those. Ah! I hit my palette on my water bowl. Trying to move my stuff over. Moving my mic. And I will switch my scene over to the physical workstation. So this is what we had been working on already. And the brush I've been using. And here's the paint. There was actually something I wanted to look up. I'm used to, from my art history classes, seeing lots of golden halos on religious artwork. But I wonder, I'm not sure how to search this, but I want to see if there are any instances where silver was used. Because if there was, I could start testing out this silver tube of paint that I have too. Okay. Interesting. I typed into the search any silver, and then the first autocomplete is any silver in 1965 quarter. I guess it means the American money, like a quarter. Okay, looking for, oh, I got a little piece of gold paint or something on my phone screen. Okay. Any silver halos in religious art from history, or only gold? And I'll put Christian and Buddhist. So those are the two that I've seen. Those are the two religions I've seen the gold halo be used in. Not saying that there aren't others. AI results says, oh look, here's a website completely about it. It's from 2013. History of the Halo in Art. Oh, apparently this is an art. Oh, it's an art history blog. Here's what it looks like. I think I'll just read this. See what it has to say. We'll all learn together. It's albertiswindow.com. The article is from Thursday, September 19th, 2013. It's called History of the Halo in Art. And look at how interesting this one. This halo is square. That's cool to know that that's a precedent. Probably because the whole thing's made out of tiles. This says, last year in 2 different classes, I had students ask me about the history of the halo in art. It is an interesting topic to consider, especially since there isn't a reference to Jesus having a halo in the Bible. I think that the closest reference to a halo in the Bible is a description of Moses being surrounded with a crown of light, or rays of light, from when he came down off of Mount Sinai, as recorded in Exodus 34:29. Interestingly, St. Jerome's Vulgate had a translation of this verse as horns of light. And you sometimes see depictions of Moses with horns from the Middle Ages and onward. But that's another story for another post, perhaps. I thought I'd write down a bit about the early sources for the halo in case I have more students ask the same question in the future. The halo may have come from several different sources, including classical culture. For example, the Greek god Helios is depicted with rays emanating from his head. See image above. There's the image. There also are a few depictions of Apollo with halos. A Roman floor mosaic in Tunisia, which has one such... this is not a complete sentence. A Roman floor mosaic in Tunisia, which has one such depiction. I think it's saying, here's an example of a Roman floor mosaic, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I've also heard discussions about how laurel wreaths used to crown victors in classical societies could be related to the halo. In addition to classical sources, the sun disk found in Egyptian crowns may have been an early manifestation of a halo-like form. There also are similar forms related to the halo, like the nimbus or aureola, found in non-Western art too. Some think that the halo form traveled from west to east, ending up in Gandhara and influencing depictions of the Buddha. See one example from the Tokyo National Museum from the 1st to 2nd century CE. Oh, well, I guess I'll click on these. I'll click on this Tunisia. So that's the floor mosaic in Tunisia. And here's the example of the Buddha from the Tokyo National Museum. And I learned about this kind of depiction in my Eastern art history class in college. I remember it being pointed out. See how the folds are carved so that the cloth, it's actually not showing very well, but the cloth looks very thin and you can actually see, you know, the knee poking through right here and the belly up higher. That's like such a skillful use of the stone. So anyway, that's one example. And then here's the next picture. The next inline picture. Christians adopted the round halo from their contemporaries, using the circular shape to connote perfection, divinity, and holiness. I know of one early image, a ceiling mosaic from the necropolis underneath St. Peter's, see above, which may depict Christ or Sol Invictus, the later sun god of the Roman Empire. This image predates the 4th century and could be a very early example of the halo in a Christian context. After this point, halos were used for Christ and Lamb of God, angels, the Virgin, and eventually saints. Some variants of the halo. The mandorla, an almond-shaped aureole, usually is used for depictions of Christ and the Virgin. However, the earliest representation of a mandorla appears around an Old Testament figure, specifically one of the 3 angels who visit Abraham, in a 5th century scene at Santa Maria Maggiore. I don't know how to pronounce that, but so it's showing that it's the halo, that it's encompassing the whole body. Kind of like Dragon Ball Z, like Goku and Vegeta. Is their aura. The mandorla continues to become more abstract and angularly defined in later art. The cruciform halo is usually used for members of, it doesn't have of in here, but surely it means of, members of the Trinity, especially Christ. This form of halo includes a cross within or extending beyond the circular area of the halo. An early example of the cruciform halo is found in the Miracles of the Loaves and Fishes mosaic. I'll click on it. Oh, it's not found. Of San Apollinaire Nuovo Ravenna. I did my best there with that one. Circa 504. In Orthodox and Byzantine tradition, the cruciform also includes the letters O, Omega N. I don't know. This is what it looks like. Oh, it looks like a smiling happy face with one winky eye, but that's because I have been influenced by ASCII faces. Okay, which translate to mean the being or I am, serving as a testament to Christ's divinity. See more information here. I won't click that one. It doesn't seem like it will be a picture. The square halo, we saw that at the beginning, was sometimes used to indicate that a person is still living when the work of art is created. Oh, that's cool. From what I can tell, the earliest example of a square halo dates from about the early 8th century. That is a cool thing for me to keep in the back of my mind for this series. Okay. Dates from the early 8th century. The square, as an imperfect shape that represents the earth, is used to draw a contrast with the perfect circle used for divine figures. For an example, see Mosaic of Pope John VII at the beginning of this post. Yes, we've seen that one. Other examples of square halos are found at Santa Prassede in Rome, found in a mosaic of Pope Pascal I, circa 820. Oh, nope, it doesn't want to load. And a mosaic which includes a woman specified as Theodora Bishop. I hope this one loads because... no, it just loads the university's main site. Okay. The triangular halo, ooh, interesting. The triangular halo is sometimes used to symbolize the Trinity. Example, Antoniazzo Romano, detail of God the Father. We'll see if this one actually loads. Nope. From the altarpiece of the Confraternity of the Annunciation, circa 1489 to 90, Santa Maria sopra Minerva, Rome. The hexagonal halo, ooh, has been used in conjunction with allegorical figures. Example, Alesso di Andrea, Hope, 1347. Oh. There it is. Hexagonal halo. 1347, year 1347. That's from Pistoia Cathedral, Pistoia. Dotted halos sometimes appear in Crusader art. They are considered one of the stylistic characteristics of this type of art. Example, Saint Sergio's with female donor. Icon circa 1250s, and it doesn't exist. It sucks. I want to see the dotted halo. The dotted halo also appears in other artistic traditions too, including Ottonian art. Example, Christ and the Apostles on the Sea of Galilee. Okay, so we can see the example. This is the dotted halo, so I think what it means is that it's got these dots around the outside. From the Hida Codex, circa 1025 to 50. The star halo sometimes appears in depictions of the Immaculate Conception. This type of halo refers to the description of the Virgin being crowned with 12 stars, Revelation 12:1. Several depictions of the Immaculate Conception appear in Counter-Reformation art, including Velázquez's The Immaculate Conception, circa 1619. Not found, dang! And Francesco Pacheco's Immaculate Conception with Miguel Cid, circa 1621. Here we go. So this is the star halo. 12 stars. Is that 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep. Here's a beautiful picture. With the rise of realism in Renaissance art, the halo began to decrease in terms of size and frequency of use. Giotto seems to have struggled with how to depict groups of figures with halos, while still giving a sense of three-dimensional space, as seen in his Madonna and Child altarpiece. Oh, that one's not available anymore either. Masaccio tried to angle his halos to appear a little more realistic in three-dimensional space, as seen in his tribute money fresco in the Brancacci Chapel. Not found! Most of these are not found. It sucks. I want to see these examples. Leonardo da Vinci only subtly suggests a thin halo in many of his paintings, like Virgin of the Rocks at the National Gallery in London. Oh, this one's going to load. Accept all cookies. Oh yeah, this is the emoji style halo. I have to zoom in because it's so thin. It's just a emoji style, super thin halo. In some Renaissance art, sometimes the halo is subtly incorporated into a scene, like the fire screen. Follower Robert Campin, probably mispronouncing that name, but Virgin and Child before a fire screen. Let's see what this one looks like. Oh yeah, so it's just suggesting that there's a halo, but it's more realistic because it's also meant to be like furniture in the room. So it's a fire screen in that it's literally screening the fireplace fire. Or an architectural device, Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper. We all know this one, but let's look at it from the context of learning more about halos. Oh, nope, we're not going to because this one is a broken link. I like how Jan van Eyck created thrones in the Ghent altarpiece with backs that give the suggestion of halos. That was this one that was this one. See above. Beyond the Renaissance, some artists continued to suggest halos without creating a traditional halo, as seen in the drapery behind Christ and Coypel's The Resurrection of Christ, 1700. So, the way the fabric is billowing up behind him is suggestive of a halo without being a halo. And then it ends by saying, what are your favorite depictions of halos? Why? That's cool. We learned a lot of cool stuff from that. Well, here's another article. Let's keep learning. I love this. This is one of the things I love about making art, because I always learn cool stuff. It's past break time, but let's read this one from BBC and then we'll do break time. So this article is called The Halo, a symbol that spread around the world. And it's a more recent article, so might have more updated information. It's from bbc.com. The author is Matthew Wilson. Here's the first picture. The article says, after first appearing in the religious art of ancient Iran, the disc halo migrated across cultures at an astonishing pace, aided by trade on the Silk Roads. Matt Wilson explores how a simple symbol connects Jesus, Buddha, and Apollo. Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, Zoroastrianism, and Greek mythology are usually regarded as utterly distinct religions, largely defined by their differences. But if you just look at them, you will see a symbol that connects them all, the halo. Yes, that's exactly what I noticed. That's what I've been thinking with this whole time. That's what I noticed in my art history classes. Okay, more back to the article. This aura around a holy figure's head expresses their glory or divinity and can be seen in art across the world. There are many variants, including rayed halos, like that on the Statue of Liberty, and flaming halos, which feature in some Islamic, Ottoman, Mughal, and Persian art. But the most distinctive and ubiquitous is the circular disc halo. I didn't realize that the points on Statue of Liberty's head is supposed to be a halo. I just thought she had a cool spiked crown. Okay. Why was this symbol invented? It has been conjectured that it could have originally been a type of crown motif. Oh, look! So I wasn't wrong. It was perhaps originally a crown anyway, so it makes sense that I thought that the Lady Liberty had a kick-ass crown. Okay. Alternatively, it may have been a symbol of divine aura emanating from the mind of a deity. Perhaps it was a simple decorative embellishment. One amusing proposal was that it derived from protective plates fixed to statues of gods to protect their heads from bird droppings. I could see that. And here is another picture. It says, the ancient Egyptian deity Ra was depicted with a circle representing the sun. Investigating the function of the original circular halo in religious art only takes us back as far as the 1st century BC. It had not featured in any prior religion, and yet it became a fixed piece of religious iconography across Eurasia within a few centuries. It is likely to have evolved from very early art traditions. In ancient Egypt, the solar deity Ra was commonly shown with a circular disc representing the sun, although this was above his head rather than behind it. Meanwhile, some artifacts from the city of Mohenjo-Daro, I don't know how to pronounce that, in the Indus Valley, created in the 2000s BC, feature what look like rayed auras. However, these are inscribed around the whole bodies of holy figures rather than just their heads. Likewise, in the art of ancient Greece, there are occasional representations of rayed crowns of light surrounding the heads of mythological heroes to suggest their unique divine powers. But the distinctive circular disc halo is an invention of a later date and presumably the result of unique religious ideas. The earliest examples of a disc halo come from the 300s BC in the religious art of ancient Iran. It seems to have been conceived as a distinguishing feature of Mithra, deity of light in the Zoroastrian religion. It has been contested that the concept of divine glory, known as Kvarena in Zoroastrianism, is intimately connected with the radiance of the sun, and that the halo was the pictorial means of relating this quality to Mithra, just as it had been for Ra. In terms of art history, the sheer spread at which the disc halo migrated across cultures makes it particularly noteworthy as a piece of religious iconography. By the 100s AD, just over a couple of hundred years after its creation, it could be seen in such far-flung locations as the Tunisian town of El Jem, the Turkish city of Samosata, and the Pakistani city of Sari Balo. By the 400s, halos had been embedded in Christian art in Rome and Buddhist art in China. Somehow, in a matter of a few centuries, they had become Eurasia's universal religious symbol of divinity. Here's the next picture. The subtitle for it says, Buddha is shown with a halo in images around the world, such as in this Cambodian temple fresco. So how did the halo's influence spread across the world and between religions? The initial movement of this piece of religious iconography is outwards east and west from its birthplace in Iran, in the hands of some of the past's most powerful empires. In the 1st century AD, the Indo-Scythians, nomads from Iran, and the Kushans from Bactria, Afghanistan, invaded the regions to their southeast, the territories now covered by modern-day Pakistan, Afghanistan, and northern India. Both empires, which were steeped in ancient Iranian cultural history, brought coinage with them that represented Mithra with a halo. This youthful and attractive god, with his divine radiance, had an obvious appeal to a growing number of people around the Hindu Kush. So much so that the iconography of Buddha, even from the earliest visual representations of him, such as the Bimaran, I think I said that right, Bimaran reliquary, which might date from the late 1st century AD, show him with a Mithraic halo. Meanwhile, Mithra was also winning the hearts of the invading Roman Empire to the west, to the extent that Mithraism evolved into a major Roman religion. Mithras later influenced the iconography of another Roman deity, Sol Invictus, the sun unconquered. Both gods combined graceful masculine physiques with divine powers, linked to the sun's radiance and authority, and so were worshipped by the most powerful members of society, especially the Roman emperors. Constantine, emperor from 306 to 337 CE, recognized the iconographical power of the halo, so he and his successors arrogantly appropriated it and used it in artistic representations of themselves. This is not one of them, but here's the next picture. The subtitle for that says, Jesus is sometimes shown with a cruciform halo, as in this early Christian fresco in the Ponzianus catacomb room. Oh, so you can see what the cross, cruciform halo. So it has a cross in the halo. The article continues. Then, with the growing acceptance of Christianity in the Roman Empire, artists began to represent Jesus with a halo, now regarded as the highest symbol of divinely sanctioned authority. This new arrival in Christian iconography occurred from around the 300s AD, more than 2 centuries after it had appeared in Buddhism. It was a signal of Christianity's metamorphosis from a marginalized religion to an official power structure in the West. The halo has stuck in Christian art ever since, although it has undergone some adaptation over the years. God the Father can sometimes be seen crowned with a triangular halo, Jesus a cross-shaped halo, and living saints a square halo. Buddhism, Jainism, and Hinduism peacefully coexisted in India in the first millennium AD, and the three religions shared ideas and artistic iconography, including halos. The earliest sculpted representations of halos in Indian religious art come from the two great centers of art production, Gandhara on the border of Pakistan and Afghanistan, and Mathura, 90 miles south of Delhi. Next section. Trading in ideas. In late antiquity and the Middle Ages, Gandhara stood at the center of an immense network of trading routes that stretched into China in the east and the Mediterranean in the west. Buddhist monasteries appeared along the key junctures of the trade highways to serve as religious versions of caravanserais. Never heard of that before. They offered a place for merchants to rest, pray, and recuperate, and became the springboards from which Buddhism spread overland to China, where artists replicated the religion's iconography. By the 500s AD, halos were appearing in art in Korea and Japan, indicating the arrival of Buddhism in these regions too. The same dissemination occurred for Hinduism, which spread across Asia via overland and maritime trade paths, bringing religious attitudes and artistic styles to Indonesia, Malaysia, and other Southeast Asian territories. These widespread arteries of trade, which linked east to west in late antiquity and the Middle Ages, are often referred to as the Silk Roads after the luxury goods shipped along them. But alongside exotic merchandise, these routes also transported religions, knowledge, and iconography. The disc halo is an icon of this dynamic interchange of ideas that existed in the distant past. It started life as a Zoroastrian sign of solar divinity, but was spread across Eurasia by ancient empires and trade networks that connected the edges of the known world. In the 21st century, it is also a powerful reminder of humanity's shared cultural heritage. That was a nice article. Yay! It doesn't really talk about whether it's depicted in silver, though. They mostly seem to be gold. I know. I'm going to just put silver halo in art history. But I'm seeing all gold. That's what I felt like I saw throughout all of my art history classes. Oh, here's a silver one. Here's one. But I bet it's silver because it stands out more from whatever the rest is. Maybe the rest is gold. This is a auction site, so it doesn't have any information about the history of the painting, but it's definitely an example of a silver halo. Here's another, but it's auction. I don't want auctions. I just want to see examples. I mean, I guess I could do whatever I want. They've been depicted in all kinds of different ways. It just seems a shame to use these two gold paints when I also have this silver one. Definitely most of them are gold. I'm going to put examples of silver halo in art history. Do I have to put... I can't put art history. I gotta put... Not ancient art. What am I gonna search? Ancient art. I'll put early no, because it goes all the way back. Oh, historical. Historical versus history. Historical art. Most of them are definitely gold. It's like no one really cares about this question that I have. No one's approaching it from this direction. Here's a blue one, though. One of those square ones. Most of them are gold. Alright, in that case, I've seen that one example. And this is art, so I can do whatever I want. So I think I will do. Although, let's take a break first. I wanted to take a break before this, but I got into reading those articles. So I'm going to leave everything where it is. Let's take a little 5-minute break, and then we'll paint a few more circles before calling it a day. So I'm going to put my Be Right Back sign on and be back in about 5 minutes. everyone, I'm back. I hope you had a great break. Let's start working on some halos. I'm gonna do, let's see, I think I'm gonna skip this small one. Let's just paint these 3 big ones, because I want to try, although maybe I should paint them all, then I'll have multiples to practice with. Basically what I'm thinking of doing is this more flat style painting to start. So a flat, smooth covering. And then I will smush it under a book for like a week or 2, because what's happening is the paint is warping the page. So we'll smush it so that it's flat again. And then on top of that, paint more to get the nice impasto style, which is that thick paint. And hopefully, since this is acrylic paint, the first layer will act as a protective barrier when we put down the second layer, so that it won't warp the page again. Because when I'm doing the impasto style, I don't want to smush it down in order to flatten the page, because that will also smush the impasto style. It also makes me think that it won't be as effective getting the page flat again, because this is so bumpy anyway. So that is my plan. That's my new experiment. Let's see. I'll put this up higher so you can see more of what I'm doing. Since I'm just painting circles, so it doesn't have to be super detailed for you. So I'm going to get some blips of paint and just paint the rest of these circles in, so that next time, next Chibi Friday, I can come back and try the impasto on them, because they should definitely be dry and flat by then, since I am going on vacation for a couple weeks, so I won't be seeing anyone for a while. That'll give plenty of time for this to dry. No! Paint came out on the lid. I do not want it to stay on the lid, because then it won't open very easily next time. Did get some on my fingers. I hate it. I don't like messy stuff, but in order to do what I want here, I've got to deal with it. Got to deal with the messy stuff. Okay. And then the third one. Start with silver, because I hadn't done any silver before. For soon, I'm thinking this color, but maybe this one. I don't think silver. But then again, maybe silver, because that one example I saw of a silver halo, everything else was gold, so the reason to do it silver seemed really obvious, so that it would stand out against the gold. So soon is very golden in that picture. So maybe this actually is the way to go. Just remembered I wanted to do this on my clipboard so I could move it around more easily than last time. Man, I did an upper body strength workout today, and there were a lot of push-ups and planks and stuff like that, and my hands are super sore. I wonder if there's a whole book about the halo in art. That would be very relevant to this project. Very relevant book for me to read. I've learned a lot about art history through my university studies, but halos were just mentioned. They were never a specific, like a focus of a whole class or something. And the way that halos appear across not all, but I guess the article said it right, throughout Eurasia. No one really talked about that much in my classes, but it has stuck with me ever since. I noticed it because I took Asian art and European art classes. And I was like, wait a minute. These guys have halos. These guys have halos. Halos everywhere. Where does this come from? And it makes me feel like it's an accessible symbol for me, too. Because I am of no religion. So it's nice. It feels like a human symbol, not a religious symbol to me. So that's why I feel I can use it to depict something that feels divine to me. Which is a remembrance of my beloved pup soon. Try to get it nice and flat. I'm basically going to paint all of these circles in this same way. So let's see, if I go silver, gold, gold, silver, gold, gold, silver, gold. But we already have 1, 2, 3. Oh, we have 3 of this kind of gold. There's 4 here. I guess I'll make this one silver because it can be silver, gold, gold at the bottom here. I can practice painting something much larger. In fact, this is so big. I'm going to get a bigger brush. Put this paint down that I already got on this brush, but I'm going to use this. This larger brush. Okay, just stick that in the water. I'm going to just hang out in the water. Oh yeah, we definitely need a bigger brush for this big circle. It would take way too long with this small brush. And that brush isn't small, that's medium. Well, to me it is anyway. For some painters, this is a small brush. It's all relative to the size of your work. Another thing that was great about looking all that stuff up about halos is that I don't feel as pressured anymore to make this absolutely perfect circle, because when I was looking at those examples, I mean, definitely the Renaissance artists, they were really trying to be perfect and as naturalistic as possible. But some of the other art styles, it was more about just getting the idea across, which is basically, that's what I do as an illustrator. It's about the idea. Communicating the idea. Whether that's a story or knowledge or whatever it is. So I don't have to worry. It doesn't have to be perfect. That doesn't mean I'm going to be sloppy or anything, but it just makes me feel less concerned if I go a little bit out of the lines or whatever. I just realized you're not really seeing what I'm working on. There we go. Somehow my clipboard got moved really far down. The thing with the acrylic paint is I have to work a little faster. I'm used to watercolor, so that dries a lot faster than oil. I hate oil, so I have not used oil in a long time, but the acrylic, water you can just keep adding and adding water and keep it alive as long as you need, but the acrylic, especially in this case, because I'm using a specific kind of paper and it can only handle so much water, and so I don't want to add water to keep the acrylic alive. I'm having to work quickly. It's actually a lot like using the markers. My Copic alcohol markers. Because if you let it dry too much in one area, then when you paint over it, there's a little mark there, a little bump from the stuff that started drying before you were ready. And it's not smooth, but it's too late. You can't really smooth it anymore. Of course, the nice thing about my plan to do the impasto style on top is that none of that should show in the end. It would be covered by the impasto paint. But I still want to make it as smooth as possible so that it will dry evenly and we'll have a nice flat surface to paint on. I'm also thinking that when it gets smushed, I'll put another sheet of paper on top of it. But there is a possibility that if I try to smush it too soon to get rid of this warping that's happening, you can see it. If the paint isn't completely dry and I put a protective sheet on before putting a heavy book on, bits of that protective sheet will come off. It'll rip off when I lift it up. So I've got to make sure to make it as flat as possible so it will dry as quickly and evenly as possible. Okay, I think that's pretty good though. Yeah, maybe silver actually is the way to go, since soon is already golden looking. So I have 3 of the Sunshine Gold. I think that's what it was called. Yeah. Sunshine Gold. Oh yeah, it actually says hand painted right here. So that's why these marks on the top of the tubes are perfectly representative of what is actually in there. Nice. This one's called King's Gold. And this one is called Brilliant Silver. So I've got 3 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these. And I was going to do 2 more, 1 of each. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I like the idea of making it even. If I did this one silver and this would be 3 silvers. That's not very many. If I did 2 silvers in the middle, there would be 2 each left for the golds. Yeah, I guess I'll do that. Taking too long. My brush is getting stiff. The silver is nice too because it's easier for the circle to disappear behind it. Because it's a similar color. The graphite is a similar color to the silver paint. No, how's there only 15 minutes left? I thought I'd be ending early, but then I discovered I wanted to learn more about halos and spent all that time reading. But research is always an important part of my biggest projects, so it makes sense that eventually I would get around to some research for this one. I've not done any research until this point. Okay, that's probably good. So 1 more silver. Ooh, gotta be careful about that. I just splattered a little bit. I hadn't done that until now. Well, good thing I'm practicing. That's the thing that sucks about not finishing in the digital realm. So you could do something like that, and either you've got to say that, well, that's just part of the original unique aspect of this one-of-a-kind print, or you got to start over if it bothers you enough. Yeah, I put that paint down, but I don't think I'm going to be able to finish them all. I might have to go to waste. You can't put it back in the tube and it's going to dry there, so I gotta rinse it off. It's not like watercolor where it wakes up as soon as you add water again. One of the many things I love about watercolor, it's so cost effective. You just add water and it's back. But acrylic does have its advantages. I have this paint only because it came in that Art Snacks box, but watercolor is translucent by nature. That's what differentiates it from gouache, because gouache is also a water medium, but it's opaque. And what I want here is opaque. And acrylic, at least this acrylic, is opaque. So it's what I want. That section there was looking a little thin, so I add a little bit more. Okay, done with silver. So I'm going to rinse the brush out real good. So which one? I want the King's Gold to have 2 circles, because it only has 2 there, so we're going to have 2 and then 1 there. No, only 10 minutes left. I just got my 10-minute warning. But I can't hang out too much extra long, because for dinner we're going to the seasonal vegan market, and it's only open, like I said, seasonal. It's today, and that's it. So I don't want to miss that. Which means I gotta end on time so that I can clean up and get ready. Feed the pups their dinner. Take them out potty. Get my socks and shoes on. Although maybe I'll wear sandals, but it looks sunny. And I like to be protected from the sun, so I don't know. But I guess if we're not out too long. But I don't know, it's really sunny out there. I think it's probably safer to put socks and shoes on. Keep my skin safe. And that's way faster than putting on sunscreen, so. I almost got the wrong paint. Trying not to get my hand in the circles that I just painted. It might not be dry enough yet. I gotta get a little bit more water on my brush. Paint's not flowing. Well, we got 7 minutes, so I think I should at least be able to do one more. Well, if I do a little bit rougher finish, these are just test ones anyway, I think I might be able to finish all of these, because there's just 2 left. Yep, I'm definitely rushing this. Let's keep getting these really rough edges here. I've got a couple minutes. I might go a tiny bit late, but it'll be worth it to finish this last circle. Okay, so done with that. King's gold, right? Is that what this one was? I can never get this one out of the container. Yes. This one is called King's gold. So now we're going to do this last circle using this last blob of paint. Wow, look how cool and shiny it looks. These paints are so nice. I'm so glad that I kept them, even though I had no idea what I might ever use them for, and with the knowledge that I might never use them, I kept them anyway, just in case. And then they became one of the most important elements in this project. This is definitely classic halo gold to me. This bright one. The darker gold looks more like an old painting that hasn't had its gold restored in a while. Because eventually they get, well, what's the term? There's a term for metallic, the ones that are made with the actual metal. They get dirty over time. There's a word for that. And so you have to periodically and carefully clean them. So this looks like one that has not been cleaned in a while to me. But it's also a nice color to have available, because now I'm thinking of it in terms of not what is the ideal halo color, but what is the ideal halo color for this particular subject. That's why I'm thinking for soon it might actually be silver, even though I was not imagining silver at all until today's research. And I saw that painting. It's hard to get this side of the circle and turn it. Ah, it went out. Oh well. It's too late, can't take it back. Anywhere it seems the paint is a bit thin is where I'm adding more. Now I'm just trying to smooth it all out. A few minutes over. That's okay. I've been starting a few minutes late almost every day this week, so it makes up for it. There! Hooray! All of my circles are painted, or circled. All of my circles are circled. Yeah, I'll show you close up what they look like. So with these ones, I'm going to be trying to put this impasto technique on top once they're dry and I flatten the page back out. So you can see how the page is all rumpled from where the wet from the acrylic itself and from the water that I mix with it to help it flow. It warped the page. So that'll be it for today's stream, and it's also going to be it for streams for the next couple, actually 3 weeks. I think it's going to be a total of 3 weeks because I'm taking time off before my vacation so that I can actually get ready for the vacation, and time off after the vacation so I can decompress and ease back into everyday life. So I would like to thank you for spending this time with me and everything you do to support Studio Mikarts. If you're new to my channel and want to see more, please follow Studio Mikarts on Twitch to get notified next time I go live. You can also support me by becoming a Twitch subscriber to get ad-free viewing and cute emotes, joining my Patreon for lovely illustrations in the mail, or sending some creative fuel through Buy Me a Coffee. All the links are in my Twitch About section. I'll be streaming again in a few weeks. I'll be starting on a brand new project. I haven't decided what I want to do yet. So that'll be exciting. I hope to see you then. But either way, let me wish you a wonderful rest of your day and thank you for watching.